Hello everybody, I'm re-recording the intro. This is just a long video detailing every piece of new information that we've gained about Amnesia Rebirth over the course of March 2023. Let's get into it. Amnesia the Bunker, this is now a news channel. We're going to go over some interviews, we're going to go over some of the content, the new trailers that dropped. There's a lot to talk about. We have a lot of information revealed to us. Spoilers, actually, because I feel like I've read too much, if I'm honest with you. I kind of wish I hadn't read some of this stuff, but I've read it all, so let's read it again. So the first thing to talk about... Thank you, Ramalama7, for the follow. That's really sweet of you. So we have an interview with PC Gamer, an interview with IGN, and a video from IGN as well, and also an interview from GameSpot. Let's start off with this, because this is the most information that we've got. The Rebirth Terrameter.
Amnesia the Bunker takes place during the height of World. He finds himself in a seemingly abandoned bunker's infirmary.
So according to one of the interviews that I read, the game starts off with a shootout, and you have 2 bullets in the gun, and you have to get past a section with the Germans. So that could be fun. Probably not going to be a shooter, but it's going to be cover-based. I'm going to imagine they're going to force you to shoot the gun at least once to give you the feel of it, and to introduce that mechanic to the player. It's probably going to be in a scripted way though. Or maybe in like a choice. Maybe like one of your comrades is like dying and he's like, shoot me because he's in pain or something. I don't know. Maybe you got blown up by a landmine.
And uncovers the creepy experiments that have occurred in the facility, including an encounter with a
experiments in the facility.
Monster known as the Beast.
The monster known as Mr. Beast, alright. So Mr. Beast is hiding in the walls. I'm really excited for that. Now, I don't know if this is a monster that was experimented on. If the whole angle for the monster this time is genetically engineered super weapon to use against the opposing force in the military, that's going to be generic as fuck. So I really hope that's not the angle they go for. The angle that I think they'll go for is incorporating the Dark World lore and Tin Hinan back into the story. Maybe Tin Hinan is searching for ways to increase her Vitae production. The only reason I say the Dark World is going to come back is because all of the assets are made. They're still there. They're still in the files. We can tell because the game is the same file size as the last one. But if I had to theorize with very limited information, the reason for this monster is potentially Tin Hinan makes a deal with Henry and goes, alright, Henry, what do I call him? Do I still call him Henry Clement or do I say Henri Clement? Henri Clement. Henri Clement. I don't know how to... Never mind. Sorry, so many tangents. What I think they might do with the whole enemy existing here is it's like a modified version of the ghoul that Tin Hinan or someone from the Dark World, some correspondent, Kita or whatever the fuck, has appeared to Henry, made a promise with him, like, alright, we'll give you this surprise military weapon to use against the other team. You get to clear their fort and take all their resources and go back to your superiors claiming the land that you're fighting over. We get to use all those bodies for the Vitae production. That's like the only thing that I could like feasibly think of outside of the genetically modified super weapon. Now, according to one of the other interviews that again we'll read in a bit, we were inside a German bunker, not one of our French ones. That also could lend some credence as to why the enemy is in the German one, because, and the whole reason again that I think it could be, this is so difficult to talk about because you have to cover every facet. Again, the only other reason that I think it could be Tin Hinan and the Dark World stuff is because I think if they're gonna go for the Amnesia protagonist being a bad person, like every other Amnesia protagonist, having that morally questionable route, maybe Henry is the one that made the deal with the Empress and the Dark World representatives, and then he forgets it because he gets bonked in the head because it's blunt force trauma. Like, how is he gonna get amnesia this time? We've had chemicals, we've had illness, we've had Magic Siren Queen. We haven't had blunt force trauma yet. If any Amnesia protagonist is gonna get amnesia in an Amnesia game, the World War I soldier is gonna get it from fucking getting bonked on the head or hit with shrapnel, you know? Just some sort of wound. So maybe Henry was the one that made the deal to use Mr. Beast against the opposing forces, and that's how he's the morally questionable protagonist this time around, because he is the reason that it's killing the other team members. Then again, that could just lead into the whole moral quandary of war, and is it worth killing other people? No. No, it's not. But everybody knows war is stupid and only exists because it makes money. But that's a whole topic for another day. It's midnight, by the way, when I'm filming this. I'm quite tired. But yeah, sorry. That's all of the tangents. Let's keep watching.
Focusing on a less guided and
Shit.
semi-open
Sorry,
set.
I should have timed that better. Right. So, everything that we've seen in the trailers so far has been, aside from like 1 or 2, has been this. We have not seen the arsenal, maintenance, the soldiers' quarters, or the prison. There's also a wine room. I reckon there might be like a reference to the who cares? He left us enough wine to last us a lifetime. Or at least until tomorrow. There might be. If that's not in the game, I will mod it in the game. A lot of people in my circle are saying, oh, it looks the same. It's probably not going to look the same. It's just you're seeing most of this. And you better get used to it, because that is most of the game. It's a lot of back and forth, stop and start, run and hide, and sneak about. But oh no, there's so much more to the mechanics. We'll talk about that later, because Jesus fucking Christ, this game looks intense. One thing that people say quite often is it looks like Penumbra, and yeah, it does, only because it's desaturated as fuck. Compare this to this. Yeah, this one looks like Penumbra Overture. This one looks like Amnesia the Dark Descent. It's just brighter and more saturated. Honestly, the game looks pretty fucking dull. All the colours are very jaded and muted, and I guess that's the point. That's the aesthetic, right? It's World War I, you're underground. It's not going to be brilliant blues and purples, you know? But there will be some colour variation in the other areas, I'm very sure. I am hoping they wouldn't make the entire game look the exact same shade of greenish brown. Also, come on, capitalise the B here, capitalise the Q. Soldiers' quarters, the apostrophe should be at the end because it's all of the soldiers, it's not one of the soldiers. Am I using default font? Maybe put them all in capital. Okay, that's just me being nitpicky. Also, the star for the legend isn't actually anywhere on the listing, but you can see that's where the room is. Unless this is the officers' quarters down here. But yes, this is the entire... Probably not the entire game world. I'm very confident in saying that the Dark World will make a return in some capacity, and there will be a gameplay sequence there, because, again, they have all the assets for it. It's very close to Rebirth. They've been thinking about Amnesia the Bunker for quite a while. You can see in 2020, Thomas Grip alludes to more than just one Amnesia game that's in the mind brain.
Amnesia and Amnesia Rebirth as well is a reaction to these games where...
Amnesia Rebirth, not the whole series isn't a reaction to the Let's Play craze. Rebirth was a reaction to the Let's Play craze. Bunker is going to be a reaction to the Let's Play craze. People say he's lost credibility. Grip is still just as clever as he always has been. Grip knows what he's doing. Another reason that we know that he meant another game. Something very interesting to note is this tweet right here. Very interested in doing a game that doesn't work to do a Let's Play of. He wants to move away and shift how a Let's Play showcases a game. And it's also clever to make a video game like that, because if you watch a Let's Play of a game, you'll be like, okay, I've watched the game, I know what happens now, and then you won't buy it. In some cases, you won't buy it. Which is not good for developers. They want people to buy the games, not watch them. So this is a good idea. Maybe not a good idea, but an interesting idea. Could be good, could be bad. Bunker sort of leans into this already by having randomized codes that you need to access certain doors. You can't do a walkthrough of that, you know? That's a game that doesn't work to do a Let's Play of. If you take that tiny idea and then stretch it out across bigger things, that's really interesting. And it's again a reaction to the Let's Play phenomenon that started at the same time as Amnesia Dark Descent's popularity did. They both blew up together, they both danced together, and Let's Plays have gone out the window, and then they crashed back down to earth, and streaming is all the rage now. Let's Plays have died. It's all about how quickly can we condense an entire experience into one 12-minute video. So the 9-year-old watching me on his mum's iPad, who's 20, she's 17. We need to make sure this 9-year-old doesn't click off. But it's very interesting, the Let's Play phenomenon, and trying to challenge that. That's a very interesting approach to designing a game. And I'm really excited to see what comes of that, because in 2027, 2028, when we get this unannounced sci-fi game that he is helming, you're going to see that. It's going to be reflected in the design choices. This man is incredibly important. He's incredibly smart. I could listen to him talk for hours. Anyway, I don't know if these maps, when we get to them, will have their own hallways and corridors, if this is just a general... Because maybe when you're in this area, this map is a little more simplified. I have no idea. So this is the inventory as well. Looks kind of shit. I'm sorry. The player's hand is the measure of health, which is interesting. It's a nice visualization. It reminds me of Resident Evil 7, when you can pick up Ethan's hand and be like, oh, I'm in the red. So yeah, there's hotkeys, which is great. So it reminds me of Penumbra Overture. You just get to do whatever you want. Pick which out. Gun. Lighter. Cast a dim light, so that's one light source, can be used to set fires. It can light up gasoline. You can use the gasoline in a variety of ways. You can either use it to power the generator for fuel, which is what you need to do to stay alive and keep the lights on, but you can also pour it on the ground and use it as an offensive method, and then light that with any fire source that you get. Flares, explosive barrels after a gunshot, stuff like that, the lighter. Or you can actually pour it into bottles and then use that as a Molotov by using a healing cloth and then lighting the end of that. So this one small mechanic, you can use the bottle on its own as a stealth device as well. So everything is very tightly combined with each other. It's a very much pick and choose what resources you want to expend to play how you want to play, which is very interesting, very tight. You can either choose to be on the offensive by making a Molotov, but you risk losing the fuel for the generator and you risk losing the health item. Very interestingly designed. When other methods are unavailable, a simple torch can light the darkness and be swung to scare off small scavengers and predators. So again, the theme of utility, every item seems to have multiple uses. This is for the little rats and probably some like spider enemies, I'm gonna assume, that you're gonna get to go because it's frictional games and there's always a spider sequence. Rebirth didn't really have a spider sequence, but then, oh no, look at the tower. The tower it's a big cobweb, and she's described, and the queen is literally a spider feeding off of the smaller life forms that get stuck in her web. So it's a big metaphor. Frictional games love spiders.
And ammo to survive in the base.
I love that animation. That looks so cool. I love that. I love how this looks. People shit on graphics. Man, graphics don't matter, right? This looks good. It looks good enough. This area here, this stairs, is right there, it looks like. And that's the door at the end of the hallway. The exit, I believe, from the top of the stairs going down, as we see in this teaser. Top of the stairs going down that way leads to the exit corridor, which it does here. There's the exit, there's the safe room. So that's interesting. You can sort of piece together where everything is from just basic orienteering. I like that.
The classic Resident Evil.
Yeah, I wonder if that's going to be randomized. You see the vent here, and you can crawl through to get into the room, but I wonder if that's actually going to be randomized, and in some playthroughs that'll be stuck on, and you'll have to blow up the door to get through. I wonder. You never know.
Defending himself than other protagonists from the series. Along with a gun, he can also use grenades, flares.
This is also the room we see from the beginning trailer, the first announcement teaser, so we can get rats that spawn in here.
And other makeshift instruments to defend himself, and even bust open pathways to
the Molotov, yeah. Fun.
New areas. And the growing roars of the beast filled the halls.
It's Mr. Beast. Either way, lots of information from this video, I like that. Playing as French soldier Henri Clement, caught in the trenches of a grueling battle, he finds himself seemingly abandoned, in a seemingly abandoned bunker's infirmary. So he got shot in battle and then wakes up in the infirmary. But another interview said that he was in the Germans' bank. So did the Germans pick him up and carry him off and were like, oh, he's one of ours now. We're taking him. They run away with him on a stretcher. He wants Bunker to be a game you'll play multiple times over, with each one leading to different moments in the player story. Interesting. Very much like a Alien Isolation, Monstrum, Amnesia game. I'm interested. I'm all for it. People might be confused, because I've been very confusing about how I feel about the Amnesia series. Before Rebirth came out, I was very hesitant. I was very scared for it, because I knew that if it wasn't going to be as scary, that's all people wanted from Amnesia series was to be scary, and Rebirth wasn't as hands-on scary. I think it's scarier than Dark Descent because of the themes, and if you're a parent, it very much will hurt you and terrify you much more than anything some being chased in a silly little Prussian castle will do. I think it's the scariest one out of the series with the concepts that it juggles, and it's a very strange game, but it's very bold, and I like it for that. But I didn't initially, but it's been a couple of years, I shaped up to it. Rebirth, with the pregnancy aspect, it very much challenged my ideas. and I started giving it credit for that, and I started viewing Rebirth as a game just made by a couple of people. After me, Time Man, made Monkey Island with our own little team, made Monkey Island the best Amnesia custom story you'll ever play. Give it a play. Yes, we are making Monkey Island 2. Yes, Time Man is making Monkey Island 2. Yes, it's coming out soon. You'll love it, I'm sure. After having that mini dev experience, I saw Rebirth more as just a smaller game with very big ambition, and I was just sort of more inspired by it after seeing it like that. I very much calmed down on it, and I can appreciate it and enjoy it as its own game. People say it's not an Amnesia game. It's got all the hallmarks of an Amnesia game. So, it's got the horror, the puzzles, the stealth. It even has the idea that so many people wanted with an Amnesia sequel where you are the monster. Ooh, it even had that, you know, that's pretty cool. And it juggled the very unsafe topic that not a lot of people will enjoy talking about, and I really appreciate how bold that is. Now, what I don't like about Rebirth is the same things I didn't like about Dark Descent. It's the supernatural shit. I don't like supernatural stuff as a genre. It's not interesting to me because you can make any cop-out experience and just cover it under the blanket term of, oh, it's supernatural, it's alien, we don't need to explain it. It's like coma theories or dream theories for video games. It's like, if anything can just be explained away by it doesn't matter it was a dream, then there's no weight to it. And the supernatural elements of Rebirth, I just didn't care for whatsoever. But as we saw, they added a lot of lore to the Amnesia universe with the 7 rulers of Anaya's bloodline, and they're having 7 crystal orbs in the kingdom's possession, and how all of the women in the bloodline have a piece of the orb in their brain, in their fucking head. Very strange, very confusing, very strange how this society has these metaphysical rulers and boundaries and dealings with objects not in their domain, because they don't have anything to do with the Guardian or the Shadow from what we know. They're just as clueless about it as everyone else is, because they're experimenting on it to try and find out what it is and where it comes from and how they can control it to weaponize it. Again, leading, that is actually quite interesting. In Rebirth, they were using the Shadow and trying to find a way to weaponize it. Using something to try and weaponize it. Maybe they were just trying to, again, use a ghoul to weaponize it, make a creature that they could use, because they were already making the ghouls to go out and fetch people. The Wraiths weren't a creation of the Dark World, the Wraiths were the result of the big collapse that happened. So, thematically, the motives actually match up to what a motive for there being an enemy in Bunker could be. I'm probably wrong though, because I was wrong about Rebirth, so we'll see. It's a game where the gameplay is definitely in the center and the story has a bit of a backseat. Yeah, they don't, as far as we know, they don't even have a dedicated writer for Bunker, but I don't think that matters because it's not trying to be a scary story. This one is just more on the gameplay. That's another reason why I like Rebirth a lot more now, is because my expectations are shattered. I don't care if there's more fucked up lore in Bunker, because the thing that I cared about has already been destroyed a little bit and demystified. That's why I'm quite happy about Bunker joining the franchise, because it can do whatever it wants and I'm here for it, because I have no expectations anymore. Whatever they want to do with it, I'm happy to see it. I don't actually think I've read this. It's more about player story. Even in the early stages of design 6 months ago, we talked about how everything in the game should be fun a second time. A custom mode to tune the game how you want. We put a lot of, yeah, replayability and gameplay. Frictional games? They've never done that. I guess Soma kind of has replayability. No, I was going to say Soma has like multiple choices, but none of them affect the outcome of the story. Like a couple of them affect the moment-to-moment stuff, but the choices in Soma are more to reflect player thought and engagement in the universe and what they believe is best for that situation and what aligns with their personal viewpoint about philosophy, religion, all that shit. So replayability is definitely quite interesting for an Amnesia game, just for any fictional game. They've not tried to do anything like this before, which is another reason why I'm a lot more lax on Rebirth than I used to be, because each game is trying to do something different, and that's why I don't think they're even milking Amnesia with another Amnesia game. Ooh, now is the best time to do it. You can clearly see they're trying to do something different with this, so I'm more than happy to support them for that. I haven't read this. That's actually really interesting. Custom mode. As I hid in a room near a booby-trapped officer's quarters, it came and inadvertently triggered an explosive device, destroying several doors. That's fun. Henry's survival story serves as the bedrock for a more front-facing focus on the story that the player will see. Interesting. Absorbing yet terrifying tale. Experience hell on earth in a fictional, appalling story. That's another reason I think the whole supernatural thing is going to come back in full force, because they just want to reiterate, it's fictional, it's fiction, it's not real, it's alien shit. So that's another reason why I think the Dark World is going to come back. Prepare to experience an enormous and unnerving journey of survival. To you, does that sound like just being in one underground bunker? No, that sounds way bigger. Another reason I think the Dark World is going to come back. Do you see how I've connected things? But again, I'm happy to be proven wrong, because I really don't like the Dark World. I don't give a shit about the Dark World. It's ruined the whole mystery for me with Dark Descent. Next interview. Actually, that was a lot of reading. Let's watch a video. This is the trench. Pretty cool. Here's the story trailer. you are in bunker, you must escape. It's literally just a castle escape custom story from Dark Descent.
You're trapped down here. The red fucking officers ran.
The red fucking officers ran. That's the body we see in this trailer. Wow, it all connects. Look at that. It's at the bottom of the thing in the stairs, yeah.
There's dynamite in the arsenal.
Arsenal. Arsenal.
And a handle to trigger it.
The French
Get
just
them,
disappeared.
And you can make it out.
I wish I could make the French disappear.
That thing, it's coming for me. Dear God, help me! No!
Fucking brilliant sound design again. And that first scream reminds me of a scream you hear in Dark Descent. That reminds me of a Dark Descent scream. Oh, speaking of sound design, listen to this. Tell me this doesn't sound like the creature ripping Henry's fucking head in half. Oh, apparently, by the way, the monster is an unkillable snake meets gorilla monster. Again, that's not a surprise. It looks like a giant reptile. Shit. It's like scaly. Looks very strange. Higgledy-piggledy. I like it though. You know, what's up with the rats as well? They look like they've been experimented on. Okay, maybe that is just the route for the enemy. Oh, they experimented on a human. Oh.
And you were the one who signed off on it, because you're the Amnesia protagonist, so you've done something fucked up.
Unless Henry hasn't done anything fucked up and it's just Amnesia is now an anthology universe, which again would be pretty cool. I am down for anything they want to do at this point. Oh yeah. I still hate that throwing animation because it's like already halfway across the room by the time his hand is like throwing it. Yeah, it's not in his hand when his hand has let it go. It's already halfway down the stairs. Does that look strange to anybody else? It's just... Oh yeah, Oscar, I'm never gonna forgive you for this. I'm never gonna forgive you for this. Wow, fuck off. Stop. Don't do that ever again, I swear to Christ. Look at the boys. They look so happy. Bless them. Also, tell me, this doesn't sound exactly like Oscar running away from the enemy just to run back across the same floor to run into the enemy to get the outro card for this video. He stops, goes back up the stairs, gets one shot just because he needs the sound effect of the enemy for the ending of the video. He knew he was fading to black. He edits these.
If I say that you have a game where there's monsters that are gonna eat you, and if you get eaten, you have to start all over. Okay, shit. I care about not being eaten on a mechanical level. I don't want to do that.
You're not healing from that, son. There's gonna be customizable permadeath in Amnesia the Bunker. And there might even be a difficulty setting at the beginning of the game asking if you want to play with it. Which is great. I will do that for a first playthrough. I'm gonna regret it, but if that's there, I'll fucking do it. Yes, if you're expecting a first-person shooter, you're not getting it. You're not getting a first-person shooter. The gun is more of a tool than a weapon. And interestingly enough, as we'll read in the next interview, the monster is also, sort of, in some cases, more of a tool that you can utilize than a weapon. Very interesting. We'll talk about that in a bit. Immersive sim. Everyone throws the term immersive sim around these days. What does it even fucking mean? I've seen people, I can't find the comments, but I've seen people saying, oh, it's an immersive sim, I guess I'll have a look, that's interesting. Why should this change your perception of it? This means nothing. It's the most vague term that could encompass any factor of immersion into a video game. That shouldn't dictate your entire experience with it. It's so strange. This term means fucking nothing. And it's used everywhere nowadays. Sorry, that's just a pet peeve of mine. Don't use the term immersive sim. It doesn't mean anything. Titular bunker is the entire game world. I don't think that's true. I think it's just that every review outlet had an hour 10 minutes with the game, so they have very limited experience with what the rest of the game is going to be. Again, if the entire game world is just the bunker, I'm fine with that. I don't want the dark world to come back. I'm just not crossing it out. You know, I'm not taking it off the table completely. There's a possibility. It's Terry Acres. It doesn't show up at scripted moments, it just shows up whatever, which is cool. I like that. It's Xenomorph, Monstrum, open world, open playground. That's something that I'm looking forward to with Bunker. It is an immediate playground, like Dark Descent. Rebirth and Soma, fantastic games, but you can't just immediately have the thrill of the gameplay, being hunted, being chased, and fuck-assing about, throwing books and rocks and shit at the enemies, and like going hee and running around in circles. You know, you don't get to do that very easily in those games, but in Dark Descent, it is so accessible. It is a horror playground that you just get the keys to. And this game, if it has customization, that's even more keys it's given you. There's so many locks, but there's even more keys. I'm really excited for this game. I'm so excited to see how they tackle it, because even if it's bad, it's interesting. It's so interesting to see how these games are put together. I'm really excited for that. Then why weren't you excited for Amnesia Rebirth? Because I didn't want them touching Dark Descent, and they touched Dark Descent, and they ruined it a little bit. But I always have Dark Descent to go back to, and I don't dislike Rebirth. I just hate how they said that fucking Herbert sent Daniel to Brennenburg. No, he didn't. He didn't send Daniel to Brennenburg. You sent Daniel to Britain, and then when you died and all your stuff came back to the UK, he was like, I will send out letters to everybody. You didn't put that in motion, Herbert, you dead cat. The admin office is the safe room. I'm really excited for that. Having a safe room to just chill out in. The music better be killer. Miko, I'm looking at you. I'm holding you to it, buddy. If you haven't made good safe room music, I'm gonna fucking kill. Let's talk about the generator. So in Dark Descent, you have the sanity meter. In Machine for Pigs, you have... In Rebirth, you've got the fear system. Sanity meter. It's the sanity meter again. Bunker, you have the fuel level, which is interesting. If you have a stopwatch or you've got your phone nearby, you can keep track of it so you don't have to have the stopwatch out, because that's one of the things you can put fuel in the generator, set the stopwatch to go off when the generator is about to run out of fuel, so then you can plan how best to use that time and know when you should be entering back to the safe rooms to refuel it. But the stopwatch that you use to measure the time takes up an inventory space, so just keep your own time going and you'll be fine. The generator fuel replaces the sanity system, and at first I was like, no, but as I give it more and more thought, that is a good idea. It is going to be very much like Frederick said, a more tangible physical fear of and essentially it functions the same. It's a time limit. It's a caution, you know. It's something to monitor, but just in a slightly different way. I'm glad they used the word diegetic. Bunker is very diegetic. Every mechanic is built into it, and its function and presentation in the game world serves a purpose to give you as much information as possible while also being immersive. The immersive sim thing, yeah. Holding your bloody hand up the whole time when you're rummaging through your inventory, it looks a bit awkward. It does, but it's kind of cute. It's got a charm to it. He's just going, oh. I do that quite often. Do you do that? Is that just me? I spend a lot of time on the floor. That sounds weird, but I like being on the floor and like in front of a heater, like writing stuff. Or crouched under my desk, just looking at my computer. And I'll sometimes as I stand up, I'll go, oh. I don't know why I do it, I think it's funny. Just reminds me of awkward video game animations. Slide locks, you can lock metal doors and the monster can't get through it, but if you lock a wooden door, the monster will get through it. Don't shoot the monster.
Pocket watch.
Hand cranked lantern. Don't call it a lantern, it's not a lantern. For use on small wounds, can be poured in empty bottles or on the ground, or for the generator. So there's 3 uses for this one item. I like that. I love utility. I could use the cloth, I'm assuming for Molotovs, because you're not going to get it out of nowhere, or for healing items, because you craft bandages. Yeah, I like that, it's cute. Just the... I'm pretty sure that's it's one of the Soma animations that looks exactly the same as one of the hand animations for Soma, just reused. Reuse what you can. The average player is not going to notice that. I, however, am not the average player. I am the keeper of the frictional picture. I play every game 10 times a year. Because I'm fucking stupid. One thing that I actually think is going to work against Bunker is the scope of the game. If the game wants you to be scared about resource management and, oh, should I use this, should I use that? Why would I be scared about wasting this precious resource if the game has made it very clear that there are going to be 3 other abundant, viable alternatives as puzzle solutions? You know, it seems like a bit... They want you to be scared of it, but they also have to balance it in a way that you can't completely fuck yourself out of options. Unless you can, because according to this interview, you can, which is fucking great if you can, because that's so cool. It's the complete epitome and culmination of player freedom, having the ability to completely, truly fuck yourself over from poor gameplay decisions. I love that. I love that so much. If there's so many solutions always available, and there has to at least be one solution available to every single thing at the same time. Interesting design challenge for puzzles. I'm excited to see how that translates. Then why would I be scared about wasting resources if I know I'm going to be forced to make choices against my will anyway? I'll be like, okay, I'll shoot the lock off this door because I know the next time that a puzzle comes, there will be a solution that I will find. You know, they're not going to make it obtuse and impossible. There's always going to be something else you'll be able to do. So why would I be worried about losing items? Saying that now might just be me not playing the game, not immersed into the experience. Maybe when I'm actually in the game I'll think about it more, and I won't want to waste it, even though you probably can waste it and it will be fine. Becoming trapped in a German bunker. Why would we wake up in the German bunker? Maybe my soldiers took me in and we sought refuge in there and we killed all of the things. I don't know. Interesting that we're trapped in a German bunker. But again, it could just be working from limited information from the hour that everybody had with the game. Frictional are all about immersion. They were doing immersive sims before it was cool. They were! All their games are about immersion. I like this. A note left by an officer who escaped said that your best bet is to reach a radio, or you find a journal entry where someone suggests you go to the armory. I like that. You can just choose where to go, and you don't know if it's gonna be helpful or not, but you'll probably find something there that will help you. Passkeys, notes, journal entries, firearm, smoking tear gas grenades, and optional key items change from playthrough to playthrough. I'm interested to see how much changes and how much it truly shapes the experience. My thoughts on the open-ended aspect of Bunker's level design is that every area is going to be immediately available. Like if you're trying to go to the soldiers' quarters, maybe in my first playthrough there'll be a gas leak straight in the front of it, so you'll have to find a gas mask before you can go in there. Something like that. That's how I imagine the item placement and progression blockers will be divvied out. This game is this one seems like the most, like I've had panic attacks playing Soma and Amnesia Rebirth. This one looks like it's the prime one that will give me a panic attack, but I don't feel like it's gonna. I feel like I have so much control and power over the situation. Obviously when I'm playing the game, it could be a very different mindset. I could have another panic attack, but I honestly feel like I'm gonna, because the way that I play video games is if I get invested in something, I will become the fucking Wikipedia for that game. I will learn every single thing that I can about it, and I will master it. I love mastering games and becoming really, really good at them. I don't play 20 odd games a month. I grind out the same 10 games over the course of my entire life. Elder Scrolls series, Minecraft, Dark Descent, Phasmophobia, Borderlands 1 and 3. That's it. They're the only games I play. Oh, speaking of Phas, there's an update. Oh, it's not April Fool's anymore. Did they patch it out? They probably patched it out. But yeah, this is a testament to like the shit that I play. I play Dark Descent 300 something hours. It's probably closer to like 1,000 because I was playing Amnesia before I had it on Steam. I've played it on PS4. I played it on my Switch. Elder Scrolls, 1,000 hours combined. across regular edition, special edition, and my PS4 edition. Evil Within 2 is really fucking good. I adore this game so much. Underrated game. I love this game. It's brilliant. Underrated game. It's not shit, alright? It's poorly handled and shittily paced, but it's fucking mental. It's so strange and out there, and I love it for that. Good cult classic. I'm glad I have it on Steam. Soma. Lots of hours, you know? Rebirth. I've been playing that this week again. I play the same games over and over and over again. Below that one, you can't see that one yet. I bought Darkwood because a friend recommended it, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'll play it. That was like 8 months ago. 2 years. God, I'm so slow. Anyway, so I'm excited to see how much this game challenges me, and if I can get good at it or not. Again, we're going to be live streaming it. We're going to be doing a playthrough. There's a lot of stuff coming. We have a bunch of frictional content coming. A machine for pigs. I'm eating pork right now. Pork. This is one of the most interesting things that I've read so far. My favourite realization was learning the creature initially tracks you by following the scent of your blood, meaning you can purposefully injure yourself to lure the monster wherever you want to. That's interesting, and you can also use it for orientation, so you can mark where you've been with blood on the floor. I wonder if instead of using a bullet to shoot the lock off a door, or instead of using a grenade to blow it up, or an explosive barrel and a bullet to blow it up, I wonder if you can just cut your wrist, smear your blood on the door, make a big noise, spawn the enemy in, and he's like, and then he bashes the door down for you. That way you wouldn't need any item, and you could use the monster as a tool as progression. That's so interesting. I really hope you can do that. Resident Evil chest to store item. A lamp you can use to save, like a typewriter. That's interesting. If you don't lock the door to the safe room, Mr. Clankers is gonna come in and go, oi! Bonk you in the head. Amnesia the bonker. Horrifying more so in a stressful than scary way. Yeah. I feel like that's what it's going to be for me. The stress will probably get to me when I'm playing it. Lots of systems, lots of things to think about. Experience reminded me of navigating and trying to get out of the Baker residence in Resident Evil Village. Now, I haven't played Resi Village, and I still haven't looked at anything because I want to go into it blind whenever I do get around to playing it. Do you go back to the Baker residence in Village? I don't think you do, right? I think they meant to say Resi 7. I don't know. In Bunker, you can accidentally waste time pursuing a line of inquiry that doesn't pan out to anything. I love that. Like, yeah, it'll probably frustrate me in-game, but man, that's really cool. I'm really excited. All in all, I'm super excited for this game. So that's everything. That's everything that we learned in March. Now, if you missed it, I uploaded this video today. I don't know why YouTube's recommending me my own video, but thank you so much. Now, maybe if you recommend it to other people, that would be great, YouTube. Yes, all of the spelling mistakes are intentional. I wanted to fuck you up because it's April Fool's Day, so I just wanted to confuse everybody. In preparation for Bunker, I'm doing another frictional walk. We're playing every single frictional game again. We also have a bunch of random one-off videos, like tier lists. There's going to be interviews, not this month, but like down the line there'll be interviews. There's a couple of really stupid videos coming out that I'm really excited for. But yeah, we're going to be doing playthroughs of every game again. We're going to be streaming every game again, and then streaming Bunker when that comes out. Hope you're ready for that. It's not content you need, but it's content you deserve. You deserve absolutely nothing more. But yeah, Amnesia Bunker, very excited for it. My voice is thrashed. I'm gonna leave now. Goodbye. Wait, I have a new album coming out. You should listen to it. It's called To Take a Life. It will be out May 15th. I'll make a video on it. It's really cool. Mikko's on a track again as well, which is really nice of him. Thank you, Mikko. Yeah, give that a listen. It's playing now as I'm fading out. Oh.